Hi everyone, welcome to another weekly update. It's been a while since I've done one of these and I'm trying out a new format to do it via video instead. Let me know in the comments if you like the format better. The big update this week is that I'm on Patreon, and if you have enjoyed my content over the years, then I'd really appreciate your support. To make things interesting and worthwhile for you, my patrons can also get access to my private Slack channel and get help from me through Slack. This is a good way for you to get answers to your burning questions quickly. For a handful of patrons, I can also offer one-to-one coaching as well. So if you're a startup founder or the CTO of a small startup and are looking for regular guidance on architectural decisions, this might be something that can work well for both of us, where we can talk about the challenges you face and I can offer you some advice and maybe even pair with you to implement a proof of concept together. And lastly, I'm also giving away my 2 serverless courses into the mix as well, and any other courses that I create in the future. I'm humbled by the fact that quite a few of you have already signed up for one-to-one coaching and Slack access, and I've almost reached my first stretch goal on Patreon. And when we're there, I'll give all my patrons free access to my Step Functions course. So check out my Patreon page. The link is in the descriptions below. In terms of new content, I published a blog post on the Lumigo blog on what is API Gateway Service Proxies, why they're useful, and how you can use them to make your endpoints cheaper, faster, and more scalable by cutting out unnecessary lambda functions. I see a lot of clients use server framework plugins to address cross-cutting concerns, such as managing log retention and subscription, which they end up having to copy and paste into every single project, which really shouldn't be the way to do it. So I wrote a blog post on why these cross-cutting concerns that span across multiple projects should be implemented as part of your platform instead of having to repeat yourself on every single project. And lastly, I offer some advice to junior developers who are starting out in their career. And to my surprise, many of you resonated with the post, and thank you for all the kind words in the comments on Dev2. On the open source front, I added some pretty cool features to the Lumigo CLI, including a command to analyze code starts across all of your functions in all regions. It looks at the number of code starts for each function, as well as the max and median value for the init duration, which is the part of the code start latency that you can actually control and optimize by optimizing your code and trimming out your dependencies. Alex Casaboni has also updated his Lambda power tuning app, and have updated the Lumigo CLI accordingly to let you power tune your functions using the new balanced strategy, which finds the best memory configuration with the best balance between power and cost. And you can now also specify custom memory sizes to include in the test as well. And if you have been using my SAR apps to manage Lambda log subscriptions, you can now also remove all subscriptions when you delete the stack, which is useful when you are processing logs through a Kinesis stream that is provisioned alongside the SAR app, so that when the SAR app is deleted, the subscription to the Kinesis is essentially abandoned. This has now been addressed. Finally, if you're using the integration pattern of SNS to SQS to Lambda a lot, then you are no doubt familiar with the boilerplate CloudFormation you have to write. So I did some work with a client of mine, and we published a new serverless framework plugin that will make your life so much easier, where you can configure the subscription as an event source for Lambda, and we'll take care of all the boilerplate CloudFormation for you. I gave a new talk at the serverless event at Just Giving in London, where I talked about the potholes you should avoid on your journey to serverless. It was inspired by the common mistakes I see people make, and hopefully it gives you a list of what not to do when you're thinking about going serverless. Finally, I also spoke at the IT Next Summit event in Amsterdam, where I'm based these days, and debunked many of the common misconceptions about serverless, namely misunderstandings around the cost of serverless, as well as cold starts and everyone's favorite FUD, vendor lock-in. And that's it. Before I go, I want to give a shout out and a big thank you to my Patreon supporters whose support helps me dedicate even more of my time on producing content and tools for the community. And if you want to support my work or get help from me through Slack or one-to-one coaching, then check out the link to my Patreon page below. Again, thank you guys very much for your time, and see you until next time.